I'm Sara Miller, founder of Sara Miller London. I live in North London with my husband Philip and our 2-year-old daughter Lila. For as long as I can remember, I've always loved drawing, and my mum will tell me about the hours and hours I spent drawing as a child. I went through school studying art and textiles all the way, and graduated from Leeds University with a degree in textile and surface pattern design. I personally love all things colourful, full of pattern, rich in texture, and I had a vision to create a design-led brand for somebody like me who wants to live with colourful things which are uplifting and bring a sense of happiness into everyday life. So in 2015, 8 years after working as a greeting card designer, I decided it was time to take the plunge and set up on my own. I initially pursued a different sort of business for 6 to 9 months, but didn't quite get the traction I wanted, and then decided I would try and explore the concept of Sara Miller design. I locked myself away in a room and spent about a month designing what would become the first Sara Miller London collection. I knew that there was an exhibition in New York called Certex, and I contacted them. The exhibition was just in 3 weeks' time, but they managed to have, luckily, one stand available, and I secured that stand, quickly booked my flights and my accommodation, and had to overcome how to display it all and the logistics of getting it all to New York. I literally worked day and night till 3 o'clock in the morning every night, and it was so worth it. The response I had was just phenomenal, and there were people queuing outside of the stand to speak to me and see my work, and I came back with 100 leads. I then 1 week later exhibited at Progressive Greetings Live in Business Design Centre in London. From there I secured my first 2 licensing contracts with Penny Kennedy for gift wrap and the art file for greeting cards. And in the January 2016 I launched Sara Miller London with those 2 categories. The response was amazing right from the outset. The range went into John Lewis, where they outperformed all their forecasts, and we went on to sell 1 million greeting cards in the first 12 months. I was then nominated for 6 greeting card awards that summer at the Henry's Awards, which are like the Oscars in the greeting card world, and I went on to personally win Most Promising Young Designer. So all of that happened within the first 8 months of launching, so it really was quite a whirlwind and a bit of a crazy time. So I always knew I wanted the brand to be much bigger than paper products, and in 2017 I launched the collaboration with Port Marion. We had a beautiful launch party at the Mondrian Hotel on the South Bank in London, which was also very special to me as it's where I got married to my husband just the year before. It was a really lavish party with guests drinking tea and cocktails out of our Chelsea collection, and we had a flamingo wrapped taxi ferrying guests to and from the event. We launched with the Chelsea collection, which had an amazing reaction right from the outset. I think all the jewel colours and gold details was really new in the market and just offered something totally different. And I think the designs also have a timeless quality about them, which has meant that the customer base has a really broad age appeal. The collaboration with Port Marion was a great match right from the outset, as we really shared the same passion for beautiful design and premium quality. We've been creatively in tune all the way through the process, and they have really realised my vision whilst honouring the brand integrity. I'm always so proud to have the finished pieces in my home. I literally have everything, the Tahiti collection, the Chelsea collection, and our glassware, all which I enjoy using when having friends and family over for meals. And I also love using the melamine for all of my daughter's meal times. There is really something special about using these pieces on the table and it just brings such a sense of luxury and makes the simplest of occasions that much more special. It was also a tremendous honour to have our Greenbirds Chelsea collection pieces included as part of the Port Marion Trendsetter exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that my design work would be featured in the V&A, so that's a wonderful achievement which I think we were both equally proud of. So 4.5 years on, and it's crazy to look back at what we've achieved. We now have 1,000 products spanning stationery, table and kitchenware, bath and body, cushions and bedding, jewellery and watches, and travel accessories and luggage. I'm always so proud of what we've achieved. I also can't quite believe that we have distribution to 60 countries worldwide, and we've had numerous beautiful window displays and pop-up shops in Japan and Singapore, as well as here in the UK. A personal highlight for me was the industry's recognition, first of all with about 25 to 30 trade nominations we've had since we launched, and but the very best was winning Best Talent or Fashion Brand at the Brand and Lifestyle Licensing Awards in 2018, where I was a finalist against David Beckham, Paul Hollywood and Matthew Williamson. In 2012, I was going through a difficult breakup and I decided to take myself off to India. Little did I know that that would be the start of Sara Miller London. I travelled around Delhi, Agra and Jaipur and absolutely fell in love with the country. A particular highlight for me was Samode Palace with floor-to-ceiling hand-painted decoration in the most incredible detail. It was absolutely mesmerising and just a designer's dream. I was so overwhelmed with the decoration and the colour everywhere you look. From the local buses that are adorned in garlands and pom-poms to the beautiful saris and embellishment on the textiles that you'd find in the local markets, to the stunning doorways and the palaces. It was just breathtaking. This was all imprinted in my mind for years to come and ultimately formed my visual philosophy to embellish at every opportunity. I actually went back to India last year with the designers in my team, and we were just as inspired, and there's lots more designs in the pipeline to come from that trip, which you'll see in the future. I'm also very inspired by Japan, which is a really beautiful country. From the stunning landscapes to the quaint little streets of Kyoto. I remember falling in love with the Japanese papers that I found in the local art shops, which are just beautiful. And there is also a certain style of Japanese artwork which has really inspired me. It's got a real delicacy about it, and that's been quite influential to my designs. I always strive to capture this inspiration with my design work so that our designs have a real sense of the exotic and ultimately allow the consumer to escape the everyday, even from the comfort of their home. So in terms of the design process, I will normally start an initial idea by creating a mood board, and at this stage I'm normally brimming with ideas and will put as much on it to make it really compelling and strong as possible, for it to be a really strong reference throughout the whole design process. I also use words or vocabulary, so it's not just visual. So I think quite a lot about what emotion I want people to feel when they look at the product. So for example, words that I would always want to be associated with the brand are things like uplifting and luxurious and decadent and exotic, beautiful, decorative, and an element of the surprise or something that's unpredictable. I often get messages on Instagram from people saying, your designs make me happy, and when I'm in the design process I always challenge myself to think, whether that design is answering that brief and will elicit that response in somebody when they look at the design. I absolutely love working with colour. That is probably my favourite part of the whole design process. I love how colour creates different moods, and you can do different colourways of the same design and it creates such a different look. I really enjoy finding different colour combinations that work together, and that's a key part of what we do when we're building our collections. And I also love working with accent colours. Needless to say, my Pantone book is always close by. So once I've established the mood and the theme of the range and the colour palette, then I start to think about the subject matter. I love capturing the different personalities of different animals. So we've done designs with giraffes and flamingos through to elegant birds with very detailed and decorative feathers. There is a strong sense of storytelling within each collection that we have, and I really do imagine that there's this magical world where the characters come alive and interact with each other. This is a really key part of the design process for us, as it adds much more depth and layers to each of the designs and the overall collection. So then the next part is looking specifically at the product. So we do paper mock-ups of every single piece that we've got in our range, where we check the scale and that each motif is positioned within that product in the right place. Every element is also given a Pantone number, so we look at every single petal or wing. Every single element has its own Pantone, and this is really important for the factories to ensure that they can match the right colours. So another key element for the brand is that all of our products are really giftable. I've always wanted our designs to feel really special and to be enjoyed as special gifts. Years ago, before setting up the business, I would always enjoy receiving a nice gift box, and I would find another use for it in my life, whether it was storing jewellery or something like that. So when I was establishing the brand, I really wanted to maintain this element and have beautiful packaging, and people always tell me how much they love our packaging. I think that it was also really striking on shelves at retail, so it makes a big impact, as well as making really nice gifts, and then ultimately people repurpose them and use them in their home afterwards. So I'm really excited to introduce our new Frosted Pines range. This was inspired from a trip to the Berkshires in America, which I went on a few years ago. And I was really bowled over by the beautiful winter landscapes, the rolling hills. It was all full of snow, with light hitting the trees and creating all these shadows in all sorts of soft hues. And it sort of sparked an idea in me for a magical Christmas range. So I thought about glistening treetops and shimmering light, the sort of stillness of the cold winter chill, and I thought that there was really something in all of that that could be combined to make a really sophisticated and beautiful Christmas range. So then I put together this mood board with stunning winter landscapes, which I find really evocative. And I was very much looking at this dusting of snow and shimmering light and sparkle through the trees. I looked at gold textures and a magical moonlit sky, delicate, fine dotty textures combined with some heavier, more distressed gold textures, and all set within this soft, magical palette. I'm really so proud of it. I think it's such a beautiful and truly giftable range, which I hope many people will enjoy giving this Christmas. I'm also really excited to introduce our Chelsea 12-piece set, which has our 4 Chelsea colourways all within one dinner range. And I'm sure that there will be many people looking forward to using this on their dinner tables. We are also introducing 2 new designs within the Chelsea collection, with our elegant hummingbird on a beautiful cornflower blue background, and a dancing swallows design on a deep teal background, which both make beautiful additions to the existing designs in the range and can be mixed and matched on your table all together. We're also really excited to branch into home accessories with 3 beautiful glass vases adorned with beautiful gold leaves and our decorative birds from the Chelsea collection. I'm sure that many people will be very excited to have these in their home as well as use them as gifts for loved ones. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my journey. We've also got lots of new exciting developments in the pipeline for launch in 2021, which we look forward to sharing with you soon.